I want to get to a handful of things, Stugotz, and one of them that I want to get to, we grazed yesterday, which is Dan Wetzel of Yahoo Sports wrote a story saying that an alarming amount of people stole the pay-per-view Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, that the digital sales were well above expectations, but cable and satellite sales figures were well lower than anticipated because what happened was that everybody knew how to steal without paying the $79.99 that it cost to watch that fight. And the thing I wanted to ask you and the shipping container, and you're a bad person to ask because you're fundamentally immoral, and you're okay with stealing just about anything, but I feel like otherwise moral people are totally fine stealing streaming. And I want to know how low the bar is on. I believe that there are many people listening to this right now that the only thing they steal is streaming. They won't steal anything else, but streaming, they're like, it reminds me of my dad. My dad used to do this throughout my childhood. Throughout my childhood, we'd walk through a grocery store and there'd be that whole candy area where there are 50 different kinds of candy. And my dad would just take one or two and walk around the store eating them. Right. He was teaching me how to steal, and I thought it was stealing. Now, I was 38 years old. I thought it was stealing, and I would ask him, Dad, isn't that stealing? And he's like, no, that's what they're there for. Right. That's why they're there. So you come in and you just take it. Now, my father is a thief. My father will steal things. I don't believe that people in our audience are thieves about anything else. But let me ask the shipping container, what are you okay stealing? Like, what are you okay willing to put your moral judgments down on? And you're like, look, this isn't really stealing. I'm not stealing this. You basically stole $79.99 from Deontay Wilder and ESPN and Tyson Fury.
Well, Dan, technically, if someone were to steal it, some of the streams were down because people got wise to the scheme. So we really only probably took about $25 because of the fact that it wasn't the entire fight that we were able to stream if one were to stream. Right? So I think the streaming of a certain sporting event or certain combat sports that you pay pay-per-view money for is about the bar where people who are okay with saying, hey, let me check Google and maybe see if it's there. If not, I can try to do something else.
What do you mean by steal exactly? If I go and I find something that's heavily discounted and I use a coupon and it's a steal, does that count as stealing?
Billy,
That's his whole life, Dan.
I'm not going to get into the semantics of stealing with you. If you're supposed to be $79.99 paying it and you don't, you're stealing.
It's a fair question he's asking, though.
Yeah, because you know how sometimes you see something like that's a steal, but I'm still paying a couple
Billy,
bucks.
I get the point you're making.
Stealing?
Yes, thank you for your point. I'm not saying a bargain. This is the best of bargains. Paying nothing is pure profit for you.
So if a friend of mine were to go to Publix and grab an empanada and it costs like $1.79, and then he strolls around Publix and he spends like over $100 of groceries. But I eat that empanada and I forget to put the empanada wrapping with the price thing.
You've stolen. I
forgot. No, I didn't. My friend who told me about this. I'm just saying, like, is that stealing? If I'm spending over $100 at Publix.
It's not stealing.
Yes,
no.
of course it's stealing.
He's spending over $100.
Thank you, Stugotz, Chris. Seriously? Honestly?
I'm walking around your supermarket. It takes a while. Nice little stroll through Publix on a Sunday, one of my favorite things. And I'm spending over $100 on my groceries for the week, and I take a piece of candy or an empanada. That's not stealing, man.
What?
What'd you say?
Whatever
you haven't taken a pinata?
No, hold on. Don't repeat it. Don't repeat it.
Empanada. A pinata?
An empanada and a pinata combined. That's just like delightful.
I got to tell you, I once had a birthday with a pinata, and I was very excited for it. This is when I was like 7 years old, and my parents didn't realize that pinata did not come with candy. And so when we finally broke it open, rocks fell out. I mean, a disaster, man.
That's one hell of a deflection, Stugotz.
It is. This is what he does. He's a master. Thank you, Roy, for catching that. Like, he will scamper out into some other way. You know what it is?
I was diving everywhere for what I thought were Jolly Ranchers. There were rocks.
I'll tell you what it is, Roy. I will tell you what you just caught Stugotz doing, and it's a mastermind move by him. He does it all the time. I want you to imagine what a deer does after the first shot is missed, because like Stugotz, because what Stugotz does is he just scampers. Like he knew we were going to dig in on him pronouncing empanada incorrectly. He knew we were going to dig in there, and so he just told a great story that he's never told before. That we have no way of knowing whether it's true or not. But he's so good at camouflaging his tracks that when you miss with the first gunshot, he's all of a sudden telling you this great story that doesn't have anything to do with anything and distracts you from getting back to the original point, which you've lived too long in this market to pronounce that way.
Perfect.
How did rocks get in there?
It's just the ceramic tile that's inside. You know, they have the ceramic that's inside.
No,
so we broke it.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
Well, this pinata did. We broke it. All of that broke into little pieces, and we finally and everyone was diving for what they thought was candy, and it wasn't. Okay, and my parents, I'm telling you, scarred until this day about it.
Put it on the poll, Tony.
And pinatas. I mean,
do pinatas come with candy? Because I don't know the answer to that question. I imagine a whole lot of families are getting fooled if there's something in there and they don't tell you what's in there, and it's rocks, and you're taking home something heavy and you're shaking it, and it's like the story Stugotz is telling me, I'm having a hard time believing it, only because I can't imagine a pinata being filled with rocks.
Wait, you didn't know that they came empty too? You need to like provide the candy.
right.
I imagine that they came
Pottery.
hollowed out,
Right.
is how I imagine. That they come without candy, but not with rocks.
Yeah, they definitely don't come with rocks in them.
Okay, maybe not rocks, but it's like pottery. That's what's inside to keep the whole thing, to keep it, in shape. I'm telling you guys that we broke it, and what came out was like broken pottery, ceramics. It was crazy. I thought it was a green Jolly Rancher.
Yeah, after a quick search, there's never been a pinata actually filled with rocks ever.
A quick internet search.
I was about to say that would make sense. You just empty the pinata and put the candy in, but yeah. This is a lie, Stugotz.
Mike, do you have access to a microphone there? What are you doing? Do you have any thoughts on what it is that we're talking about, going back to stealing, the stealing of pay-per-view? What do you steal that you wouldn't otherwise steal because you drop your morals and say, I'll just take some streaming?
Talk to me, babe.
All right, let's go to commercial. Let's just go to commercial.
Oh, jeez. ESPN